Hey guys, 1776 here. I'm going to give you a quick and dirty rundown of the bug out bag I'm planning on taking with me for my first bug out bag training. First, we've got the USMC ILBE, the main pack. I'm leaving the assault pack at home, but I am bringing the hydration bladder with the Camel back. Secondary, we're going to talk about the sleep system. I'm going to be using the Hennessy Hammock Safari. It's a nice big hammock. I'm able to get me and one other person in it, probably not comfortably, but me definitely comfortably. I'm not going to leave footprints of where my tent was, as well as I've got a lot of options for setting this thing up, as well as I've got a rain fly that I can use for shelter intermittently without setting up the hammock itself. Sleep system, we've got a very collapsible, lightweight 20-degree sleeping bag, as well as a pillow that's inflatable. It does add a lot of comfort for the size. This itself is a necessity in Minnesota just because the weather's so inclement. Because you have to have something wool in case you get wet. I've just got a Czechoslovakian wool blanket I picked up at Fleet Farm for about $10. It is high concentration of wool. I doubt it's 100%, but I think it's close to 80. I will be bringing this with and putting it on the downside of my pack or underneath the back strap because it does take up quite a bit of room. When it comes to clothing, obviously a good pair of boots is a must. I'll be wearing these. These aren't going to be inside my bag, but they will be next to it. I've got a pair of rain gear here. This is a German surplus rain gear set. Very durable, very strong, and the Camel patterns work with the areas around Minnesota here. Having a hat, especially a boonie hat, it helps a lot for keeping the sun off your head so you don't get dehydrated as quickly, as well as you're just going to be more comfortable. The nice thing about these is you can pack stuff inside them, and they fold up quite well. Got a pair of wool socks, a stocking hat, and then just a bandana for filtering, sweat, washing, whatever it might be. A pair of gloves is a must. They don't have to be camouflage. I just had these laying around. Also, these a lot of the clothes that you have, they are not gonna have a belt. So having a really lightweight belt that's adjustable. This one's adjustable to any length. I mean, I could adjust it to this, which helps me bundle things, pack up my bag, as well as gives me options for hanging other things on my belt that we might need, like a knife or any other type of first aid kit or pouch I'm going to bring with. Next, we might as well talk about the cook system. I've got a GSI Kettlist. This is a very good system. I just came back from the border of Minnesota and Canada, using it up there. It worked flawlessly. It does have 2 bowls. Nice thing about it is it has room for nesting inside, so you can bring extra items, teas, soup mix. Inside I have an additional fire kit, which is a magnesium striker, as well as these small alcohol wipes are fantastic for starting fires. And then I have my cook system, which is a small piezo stove, which you can get for about $5 on Amazon, which I've been very happy with. And then isobutane container. Not only can I cook 20+ meals with this, but this thing is such a hot torch. You can warm yourself up quickly with it, your hands. It doesn't have odor, as well as you can dry wood or start a fire that you might be having issues with this, just like a blowtorch. So I'll set this aside. Next, we will talk about just the food, since we're on the food kits. I will be bringing up just 2 meals, Mountain House. It's not a lot. Food takes up a lot of space. Next, I'm going to have a breakfast, huevos rancheros, and then just 2 snibble items to add to this and make these meals last longer. Some rice here. It's about 200 calories per serving, about 3 servings on that, so about 600 calories. And then this biscuit mix, which is nice and easy to make fireside, has about 1,000 calories in it. So from there, let's talk about wood procuration. We've got a spend saw. which you can definitely see the reviews on. It is a fantastic tool. The way it works is it collapses. This is the 21-inch version. I think if I was going to do it again, I would do a 15-inch version, just because it's going to be easier to fit in your bag. But you pull it out, you're going to open up your saw blade. I'm glad I opened this up because it needs a little maintenance from our last trip, even though I've cleaned it once already. And then your blade is going to fit right in here. And as you tighten it up with this wing nut, you are going to have a fully functional saw that breaks down, as well as it's not going to be dangerous to carry in your pack. Also, I've got a knife. This is just a Glock utility knife. I've got a better knife I take with me, but this one stays in the bag, and this is the one I'll be bringing with, just to keep the scenario as real as possible. Also, cordage and a medical kit are going to be right here. You got your cordage, about 20 feet of paracord. Got a medical kit with anti-inflammatories, antidiarrheal, painkillers, as well as tourniquet, dressings, and everything else you get in a military-style field dressing kit. Highly recommend those. It was $10. I just added a couple small things myself, but it is nice to be able to just strap it on and go. I keep these in my car too, because it's always a good idea to have a first aid kit, trauma kit, and a tourniquet in your car. Next, we'll talk about some of the other things I'm adding. I've got binoculars, very powerful tool, 24 zoom on this, just for knowing where you're going and what's ahead of you, extremely important. Obviously, having a multi-tool is going to definitely, make things easier for you. This is just a Gerber multi-tool. I do not know the specific type, but it's been very good to me for about 5 years. Also, a carabiner is very handy to have for stringing food up, hiding bags, also just clipping things onto your gear. For defense, I have a Glock 22. It is unloaded, but this has a conversion kit to go from 22 long rifle with this magazine to 40 caliber full-size magazines. So I'll be bringing about 30, maybe 50 rounds of 40 cal with me, and about 100 rounds of 22 caliber, which would be enough for procuring small game as well as self-protection, at least on the minimal level that I can bring with me. Lastly, we'll talk about just some of the odds and ends items. Obviously, you got to have some type of toilet paper for a group kit. Hand sanitizer is really important so you don't get sick, as well as it is a fantastic fire starter. I always carry Fels-Naphtha soap. It's really good for disinfecting things, as well as there's a lot of poison ivy in Minnesota, so that's good to get rid of. Sunscreen, really important. The last thing you want to do is just totally get sunburnt, because it can take you down and out quickly, especially if you're moving long distances. An extra bag just for water, food, whatever it might be. Obviously, having some type of light. I will be bringing a secondary light with me as well, but this is just a small red and white light headlamp. It does have a pretty significant amount of light that comes from it, and it lasts a while. I keep that in the pack all the time. And then obviously having a compass is really important. And this is a lens static compass. It's not something I've used a lot. I've used normal compasses plenty, but I do keep the instructions just right in there for more specific navigation. And that'll be it. I'll let you guys know how things turn out. I'll essentially just be running this system, and believe it or not, it's kind of frustrating. All this stuff, it packs that big bag totally full. And that's not an extra set of clothes, that's nothing. So definitely pay attention to what you have. Packing as light as possible is important. If you can get away with a smaller sleep system, my sleeping bag, they have some that are about 1/3 of the size, but they're not as warm. I suggest looking into that. But if you're going to be in a cold place, last thing you want to do is be freezing, because it doesn't matter if anything dangerous is out there. If you freeze to death on the way, it doesn't matter. Well, this is 1776. I hope this helps you a little bit. I'll be a little more coordinated with the follow-up video of my visit, my camp out, as well as what gear I used, what gear I didn't, and then what else I would add. I'm guessing I would probably add a small fishing kit and some snares as well as this, but this is just kind of what I had sitting in the bag already. Thanks.